Hello, my name is Margaret Adele, and welcome to the monthly report for July, where we discuss how my July went reading-wise. The summer break is now over half done, and I'm strangely okay with it, because this has been a very frugal summer for us, and I would like to get back to work and making money, and also, I'm so over this damn humidity. I have woken up sweaty one too many nights. I'm good. Regardless, for notable news in July, we don't have a lot. Not a lot went on for me, honestly. But we do have the Indie Ink Awards reading period coming to a close. I did not read nearly as much as a judge as I had wanted to. I had these grandiose plans of reading giant amounts, but I did just read the requisite 5 that all judges are asked to, purely because I kind of just, I have months, I can push it off. Then I pushed it off too long. Still, I loved my time being a judge. I will definitely go back to it next year, but I actually have to wait for the new round of nominations to come up, which shouldn't be too much longer, actually. It should be a lot of fun to see what I could be reading next year. For budget tracking, July was quite the month for getting books. I got 20, and I actually tried my hand at doing a full haul. So if you want to see all the books I got, as well as my new haul taboo breaking system, you can check that out down in the description below. But I did spend a total of $49.96 for an average of $2.50 per book. My biggest source was a place called Rehab Treasures, which is a secondhand store with the lowest prices ever. I mean, the stuff that's actually in there is real suspect sometimes, and it's kind of weird, but it's the lowest prices ever, and all of the proceeds go to wildlife conservation. So I got the first 6 books in a series, a really long series, and sadly I liked the first book, so now I have another 20 books added to my series challenge, but they were 25 cents each, so I got 6 books for $1.50. Not too shabby. Now, my official haul count for the year is 101 books. Of those, I have read 73, and I am just now realizing I have a typo in the blog post because I have that finishing ratio at 73%. That is incorrect. It is 72. Although, technically, now that I say this, I did finish another book just at the end of July. It's August 1st as I film this, so technically that'd actually be probably closer to 74. Still not where I want to be with that 75, but we're very close, especially, again, if I go on that book getting banned for August. I have spent $300.76 for the entire year so far, for an average of $2.98 per book. So again, that's a lot higher than I had originally intended to spend for the year under my Thrifty Reader Challenge, but still very low just for the sheer amount of books I'm getting. Challenge tracking is next, and first we gotta start on a little bit of a bittersweet note, because for series, I have finally finished one of the longest series that I was really hesitant to finish because, big feelings, but I have finally read the last book in the Amelia Peabody series, the last book published, Painted Queen by Elizabeth Peters. This was published posthumously after the author's death. The author had written, I don't know what percentage of the manuscript she'd written, but it seemed like it was a rather large amount of it, and then the family asked Joan Hess, an author friend, to finish it out for her. You could definitely see certain differences, it's written non-linearly, the last couple of books. The author knew that she was getting older, and she wanted to have the formal ending to the family's storyline published before she went. And so this and the book before it were published basically out of order. These go farther back in the timeline. But there are just little things. They had a certain cat at this point that would have been mentioned, and some of the characters are just a little bit too sentimental in their tone when they were very classic stoic English people before, but it was very sweet, and the memorial to Elizabeth Peters low-key got me. And it's kind of the end of an era. I could always go back and read them again. There are several books early on in the series that I've never done on audiobook because I discovered audiobooks partway through, and I could actually go through and read it in chronological order now instead of publishing order. There are other ways, but I think for right now we need to let it rest. There are other endings of stuff I still have to get to. Oh my god, Winions, please don't hate me. I still haven't listened to the last saga of Epic the Musical. I know. I have drawn fan art of the Winions, and I still haven't finished the goddamn last saga. I have a problem finishing things, okay? I also haven't finished the last episode of Campaign 1 of Dungeons and Daddies. finishing things is hard. So this also means that I made some decent progress in my series count. And then I did add that gigantic 20 books to the list after I realized that the first book of this 21 book series was one I liked. My weakness is gigantic 10, 15, 20 book series. I don't know what it is. But I am currently working on 14 series for a total of 10 that I am not up to date on. And that leaves me currently 65. 65 books that I still have to read. And of course, I also hauled several other first books in a series. I might just have to make 2026 be the year of completing series. Like, if it's not a review book, it's for a series, and just go and get it down. Regardless, for the NetGalley, we finally have movement. I have been sitting on the same NetGalley book for months because I do have my one in, one out system. I do not review the book. I don't get a new book until I review the book I have. And I finally got the review for the hand-sewn wardrobe out, as well as sewing a skirt from its instructions. I will have that video also linked down in the description. So now I can finally pick the new one, and I finally have a higher ratio of 78%. And with the way that NetGalley works and how few books I've picked out over the years, it will actually really only take me like a couple more books to get up to where I want to be, and I'm very happy with that. Regardless, for the 52 book club challenge, I actually haven't been working on this one a lot. Earlier in the year, I was obsessed with it and reading like 18 books for it in 1 month. Not even close to that anymore. I only read a couple, so I'm up to 79%. Although now that I think about it, I think that last book I finished also counted for it, so I might be in the 80s. Regardless, here's hoping that I can finish that book kind of early-ish in the year, because I would like to have the last couple months of the holidays just to myself to read whatever. I did not like the years when I was racing to complete the yearly reading challenge in December. So I'm sitting pretty well with all of those challenges. Although, again, I might simplify everything next year and just be like, it is all about those series. I want to start Discworld at some point. Up next, we have the negative notable read. And I can't come up with another read that is more negative than this one, because I can't remember the last time I gave a book a 1 star, but this one deserves it. And that is Adeline Mowbray by Amelia Opie. I know, some people are gonna be like, well, it was from so long ago, it was the earliest 1800s, so it's a different state. No. No, I'm sorry. This woman was a contemporary of Jane Austen. She could have done so much fucking better. And also, I need everyone on the internet to stop fucking name-dropping Mary Wollstonecraft when they talk about this book. Because supposedly it's about her life. It's not. Mary Wollstonecraft was a feminist icon that was a pioneer in promoting women's education and women's literacy in the fucking 1700s, who was speaking out against the atrocities of the fucking French Revolution, and was a fantastic icon in that way, that did go on to inspire fucking Mary Shelley. So I'm expecting some fantastically feminist piece when I read this, like what Jane Austen wrote, because yes, Jane Austen's works are super feminist. And then I read this shit, and it's just a bad faith critique of the fact that she had a kid outside of marriage. That's it. This is a hack morality tale about a girl who's refusing marriage for the stupidest reasons, okay? There were so many good reasons to refuse marriage as a woman in the 19th century. She had the dumbest ass reasons for it. And still, it's all these horrible things happen to her because she dares to be against the holy sacred rite of marriage. And I say this as a married woman, okay? It's not that serious. I was so mad that everyone kept name-dropping such a feminist icon for such an anti-feminist book. Okay, no, this is not in any way about Mary Wollstonecraft's life. This is literally just hating on her, okay? Okay, stop giving Mary's haters the breathing room, okay? She does not deserve to have her name mentioned with them. This book was awful. Thankfully, our positive notable read was as amazing as that one was awful, and that is Of Monsters and Mainframes by Barbara Truelove. I got this at a queer indie bookstore on their Pride event, which is the most appropriate time to get this book, because it is gay as hell, and I say that fondly. This is all about a sentient ship's AI who discovers all of her passengers are murdered by Dracula, some other stuff happens involving other classic monsters, from things like Frankenstein to H.P. Lovecraft. And she decides that it's all Dracula's fault that she now has this reputation of being a ghost ship, and she is going to create her own ragtag team and go after him. She also has like this situationship with the medical bay AI, like, and it's also, they're both like feminized, so it's like gay AI romance, but also other gay romances. It was so silly and it's schlocky and just good gay space opera fun. And yes, I know, gay space opera is redundant. It was actually really funny though, because I got this from the indie bookstore. I had no idea that this was a bindery book. Bindery is that series of presses that are basically run by different influencers online, with the idea being that if you have influencers helping to run the press, you have a built-in audience. I've known about Bindery, but I haven't really touched anything with their books. And then I stumbled across this one. So I'm not gonna lie, I might have to check out what else Easy Cat Press has come up with, because this was just so much of a fun time. I will say though, now that I'm looking at the back about Easy Cat, name dropping the exact amount of followers he has on different platforms. No, he's famous, we promise. That's a little silly. But overall, still good taste in books. The only real downside was, because I was jumping between this copy and the audiobook, the audiobook has a fantastic multi-narrator cast. Like, I think every POV character, and there are several, gets their own narrator. But there are several sections, and I don't know if I can find any, that's all in binary. Like, just a series, like a paragraph's worth of zeros and ones. Yeah. Like this. This is the worst thing to have to listen to being read out in an audiobook. It was just 010000001. Like, no. I literally just skipped those chapters. I'm like, we're not doing that. I wouldn't actually read out all those zeros and ones on the page. I'm not listening to them being read out. But regardless, it was a 5-star. I did highly, highly enjoy this one. And I would very much suggest it for all of the gay space opera fans out there. And now on to August, or should I say Indie August, because it is one of those months where we promote indie books just a little bit more. I won't be posting extra on here just because it's a lot of work, and this is the month where I go back to work, and that first week is exhausting. But I will have a couple indie specific videos going up on my channel, including an indie author Q&A. So if you are an indie author that has a specific question that you've always wanted to ask someone that reviews indie books, you can please drop that in the comments below. Or if you follow me on Blue Sky, I will have a post there where I will take the questions. You can also DM me on Blue Sky if you would like it to be kept anonymous. And that video should hopefully be going up next week as I film this. But other than that, I will be going on a book getting ban in August, not just buying, but also like going to a little free library or getting a free ebook or whatever. The only exception will be if I get a review request, or if I get a lot of review requests, because for whatever reason, late summer, early fall is when the review requests start to pick up. They tend to dry up over the summer, and every summer I freak out seeing my inbox dry up and then exploding again in the fall and winter. I don't know why, because I review like self-pubbed and indie, so it's not like a bunch of suits in a room are deciding the schedule. It's just everyone naturally agreeing to it. If you know why, please let me know down in the comments. I've always wondered that. Regardless, I am excited to jump into August, indie books, and getting back to work and, back to making more money. But please let me know how your July was. What was your reading like? Do you have any plans for August, especially indie August? Please let me know down in the comments below. And with nothing else to say, I hope you have a wonderful day and a marvelous tomorrow.